Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger launch regional criminal court. In a bold and unprecedented move, three West African nations, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, have united to establish their own regional criminal court. This isn't just a legal development. It's a loud and clear message to the international community. Once aligned with Western-backed institutions, these countries have now taken justice into their own hands, reshaping the power dynamics in a region long plagued by conflict, coups, and external pressure. But what exactly is this court? Why was it created? And what are the deeper implications for regional security, sovereignty, and international law? Stay tuned, because this could be the beginning of a whole new legal order in Africa, and the West is watching closely. Why was the court created? The Sahel region, encompassing Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, faces persistent challenges from armed groups linked to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State. These groups employ brutal tactics, kidnappings, bombings, and sieges, causing thousands of deaths and displacing countless civilians. In 2023, the Sahel accounted for 26% of global terrorist attacks, with Burkina Faso hit hardest, followed by Mali and Niger. Government counter-terrorism efforts have often faltered, with security forces and allies accused of atrocities, including civilian killings and targeting ethnic groups like the Fulani. The International Criminal Court's investigations are seen as distant and foreign-influenced, prompting calls for a local judicial system. In response, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger formed the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, in 2023, evolving into the Confederation of Sahel States, CGS, in 2024, to bolster regional security and cooperation. This includes establishing a regional court to address local issues swiftly, reflecting a broader push to reduce reliance on former colonial powers like France and international bodies, fostering a self-sufficient Sahel. What will the court do? The Sahelian Criminal and Human Rights Court will focus on serious crimes that affect the region. These include war crimes, acts like attacking civilians or destroying cultural sites during conflicts, crimes against humanity, things like mass killings, torture, or forced disappearances, terrorism, attacks by groups like JNIM linked to Al-Qaeda or the Islamic State Sahel province, human rights violations, abuses like arbitrary arrests or mistreatment of prisoners. The court will be based in Bamako, Mali's capital, and will work to make sure that people who commit these crimes are caught and punished. To support the court, the three countries plan to build a maximum security prison in Bamako that meets international standards. They also want to create a shared database and a digital platform to make it easier to share information about suspects and cases. This will help the countries work together more effectively. In June 2025, the ministers of justice from Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger met in Bamako to plan the court. They agreed to make their criminal laws more similar so the court can work smoothly across all three countries. This includes laws about terrorism, cybercrime, money laundering, human trafficking, and threats to state security. They also want to improve cooperation in areas like intelligence sharing, fighting extremism, and managing prisons, especially for people convicted of terrorism. The court is meant to be different from international courts like the ICC. A lawyer named Alfred Emmanuel told Sputnik Africa that the court will be dynamic and focused on local needs. Unlike the ICC, which some African countries see as slow or controlled by foreign powers. The goal is to create a justice system that the people of the Sahel trust and that can respond quickly to their problems. Challenges in the Sahel. The Sahel region grapples with escalating violence and complex political shifts, making the new court's role critical yet challenging. Since 2016, terrorism has surged, with attacks doubling and deaths tripling since 2021. In Burkina Faso, JNIM has seized towns like Djibo and Diapaga. Mali faces arson and abductions in Mopti, while Niger's Tillaberi region sees deadly attacks on civilians, including mosque worshippers. Governments have deployed security forces to target militants, but these efforts often backfire. Burkina Faso's state-backed Volunteers for the Defense of the Homeland, VDP, face accusations of ethnically motivated civilian killings, eroding trust. In Mali, the junta's ban on political parties has sparked protests, further straining public confidence. Political instability compounds these issues, with military coups in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger since 2020, severing ties with ECOWAS and ending partnerships with France and the UN. This isolation hampers external support for security and justice. The new court, part of the region's push for self-reliance, aims to address these crises independently, but faces skepticism about its effectiveness without international backing. To succeed, it must navigate a volatile landscape of insurgency, distrust in governance, and regional isolation while proving its ability to deliver justice and stability. What could the court achieve? If the Sahelian Criminal and Human Rights Court works as planned, it could bring several benefits to the region. Justice for victims. The court could hold people accountable for serious crimes, giving victims and their families a sense of justice. This is important in a region where many crimes go unpunished. Regional cooperation. By working together, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger can share information and resources to fight crime more effectively. The shared database and digital platform will help with this. Local control. The court will be run by people from the Sahel, which could make it more trusted than international courts. It will focus on local problems and solutions, rather than following foreign agendas. Reducing violence. By punishing criminals and terrorists, the court could help reduce violence and make the region safer for everyone. However, the court will face challenges. It needs to be fair and independent, which could be hard in countries with military governments that have been accused of human rights abuses themselves. For example, Tuareg groups in Mali and Burkina Faso have filed complaints with the ICC, accusing their armies and allied groups of crimes like torture and murder. The new court will need to show it can handle these kinds of cases fairly. The court also needs resources, like trained judges, lawyers, and money to operate. The Sahel is a poor region, and building a high-security prison and a digital platform will cost a lot. The countries will need to find ways to pay for this without relying on foreign aid, which they have rejected in the past. What does this mean for the future? The creation of the Sahelian Criminal and Human Rights Court is a bold move by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to take charge of their own justice systems. It shows their desire to work together and build a stronger, more independent region. If the court succeeds, it could become an example for other African countries looking to create their own solutions to local problems. However, the court's success is not guaranteed. It will need to overcome the region's challenges, like ongoing violence, political instability, and lack of resources. It will also need to gain the trust of the people by being fair and effective. If it can do this, the court could help bring peace and justice to the Sahel, making life better for millions of people. The Sahel region is at a turning point. The new court is a sign that Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are serious about fighting crime and protecting their people. The world will be watching to see if they can make it work. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger's joint criminal court isn't just about justice. It's about reclaiming control. It's about a region asserting its right to govern itself, investigate its own crimes, and hold its own accountable on its own terms. This court may challenge the dominance of institutions like the International Criminal Court and regional powers like ECOWAS. But for many citizens, it also offers hope, a chance at sovereignty and justice after years of unrest and foreign influence. Only time will tell whether this bold experiment in justice will strengthen these nations or deepen regional divides. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video if you found this insightful and subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest global shifts shaping our world today. Thanks for watching. See you in the next headline.